entrepreneur pretty young. What kind of vehicles were you using? And again, it's your early 20s, right? Let's say before 25 or around 25. What kind of vehicles were you thinking? Because as an entrepreneur, much different than a W-2 earner, right? These guys go get jobs and then they sign up with, a 401k and, then that's all they get. And we know now that, listen, it takes multiple streams of retirement to have a nice retirement. But which ones were you taught at that early age of, hey, go park your money here?
Well, you got to remember now we're going back to the late 80s, early 90s, and the stock market was the place to be back then. And people were, you couldn't lose at one point. And so we did create an investment portfolio for the stock market and invested in IPOs and some of our customers' companies. So we were doing work for organizations that we felt very strongly about. We wanted to show our commitment to them. So we would buy stock in those organizations as well. We also sock some of it away. We live in an age now where savings accounts pay nothing,
right.
1.01% or something. And back then, though, you could get 10% in a savings account, and so we would have liquid money kind of available to us in places like that. And then for more of a longer term, we looked at mutual funds. I had a friend from church who was an investor, and he told me, you need to be diversified, and put me into a nice fund that, today I have the opportunity to still benefit from and look forward to using it even more in retirement. So
you leveraged the community that you were within, your either people that you did business with, a little bit of family. Were you really proactive in asking people for help with, your finances, or did people just offer it to you?
No, I think as an entrepreneur, I had a little bit of a, I know more than everybody else kind of an attitude at that young age, and good or bad, that kind of worked against me probably. I probably could have done better had I seeked out some good sound advice and a variety more of options.
Right. And I only just asked that question because we know in today's world, right, unless you're proactive to learn about how to handle your finances, just basic. I like talking financial literacy, 5th grade level, right? Because when a lot of folks are out there and they start to try to listen about financial education, a lot of the jargon that you hear just goes right over their heads. They're like, it's another language they don't even understand. And there's a lot of things that people can do out there, and I teach it. What you can do you definitely have to start investing as early as possible, right? I remember when I learned how compound interest really truly works, the rule of 72, which is on time, right? And so for you guys that are out there that in your 20s, you have no idea how important it is to put money away in your 20s, because you start, reaching, I'm 58. Hey, man, if I had to put away 10% of all the money that I made in my career, I wouldn't even know how much money I have right now. Plenty for sure. So that's a good lesson. So the lesson so far is, listen, you hustled early, and that hustle really created a mindset for you of getting out there. And you were one, as most entrepreneurs, I want more, and started to get advice from different people and asking for it. So people out there, you cannot be afraid to ask people to be either a mentor or just, hey, what are you doing? It looks like you're doing something right. Can you help me? Would you agree?
I totally agree. I had a experience a couple of weeks ago with my mom, who's 75 and recently sold her home and was looking for a place to invest her proceeds from the sale of the house. And we interviewed with several financial advisors. So to your point about the intimidation factor, one of them was very direct and said, I can put you in this fund and this one, and I'm going to tell you right now, this one pays me really nicely, and but we're going to do this and this and this for you. And he was basically explaining his costs. The other one was not discreet about the cost. He wasn't hiding them, but he didn't really address them head on. Well, her opinion after that was that she felt like the other guy was charging her too much. And really, KJ, that it comes down to you get what you pay for. And, if you want someone to really take care of your money and to watch out for you, there's a cost that comes with that. And that can be intimidating. We feel like, oh, these guys get rich on our money and this and that. Well, it works both ways. She ended up going with the guy after some conversations, and I feel like she's in a much better investment right now as a result.
So that brings up a good point, because I mean, so your mom sold a house, so she had a chunk of money there to actually work with, where a financial advisor would actually talk to her, because there's a lot of people out here that are, they don't have a lot of money. Maybe they just got a few $1,000 in the bank or whatever, or they're living check to check. It doesn't mean that you should not be thinking about investing, because, again, the rule of 72, compound interest, just the trickle effect, right? If you think about long term rather than short term. But the problem is, if you walked into a financial advisor's office and said, "Hey, can you help me out?" and he's going to, "Well, what do you have?" He's going to look at your portfolio, how much money you have, and you're like, "I got $1,200." He's probably going to say, "Come back to me when you have 50,000," right? So it's and that's what I teach. So I want to teach you how to get to that 50 or 100K, and then reach a professional like you did with your mom, the guys who are going to really take care of your money long term and all in the right places. But up until you get to that point, there's not really a lot of people out there helping you. And that's where it comes into play. I find through experience that people are learning either from their parents, but I say parents can't teach what parents don't know. So if your parents weren't, hugely financially literate, I mean, you really couldn't learn much from them, right? So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. If you want to watch the whole podcast episode, then go ahead and click right here. Okay? Do me a favor. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you want to hit the notification bell, you'll get notified every time we release a new video out for you, whether it's the clip or the whole podcast. So hope you get a lot of value, and I'll see you guys on the next one.